Okay, so another pupil examination using the iBooks book. So we're on to question 4.9. So first question, are the pupils equal in size? They're a bit different in size, aren't they? The patient's right eye has a bigger pupil than the patient's left eye. So the other things you're looking for with difference in pupil sizes, is there any drooping of the eyelids? So there's no ptosis, both the eyes look similar. And I guess the other really big question is there any deviation, is there any diplopia? So you'd ask the patient about double vision and you'd look for any deviation. And let's just check with the lights off. So with the lights off, there's still a difference in pupil sizes, with this right eye being bigger than the left eye. But the relative difference is quite similar, isn't it? So the right eye is bigger than the left eye, and the right pupil still bigger than the patient's left pupil. But they're both sort of moving, aren't they? They're both moving at equal sort of speed and changing similarly. So I guess the next question is, are the pupils reacting normally? So let's just have a look. So that pupil's reacting normally. And that pupil reacted normally, didn't it? Let's just have one more look. So it's constricting briskly. Now, when you see a pupil that reacts normally, I don't then look at that pupil as I shine the light at the other eye, the consensual pupil check. I think it's only important to look for consensual pupil response if that pupil isn't responding to a direct light. So if this pupil hadn't reacted to light shone here, I would want to shine the light here and look at it to see whether or not the defect is an afferent defect or an efferent defect. But actually both pupils are reacting normally. So I guess the final thing is just to compare the afferent pathways of the swinging light test, the relative afferent pupil test. So that's constricting nicely. So as the light's being swung from eye to eye, there's no relative afferent pupil defect. So if we put that all together, we've got an anisocoria. We've got different in pupil sizes, but that anisocoria is similar in light or dark. We've got no other, what I might call a red flag, so we've got no ptosis that you might get with a larger pupil in a third nerve palsy. We've got no ptosis that you might get with a smaller pupil in a Horner syndrome. We also haven't got any double vision or squint, strabismus, which you might get with a third nerve palsy. So it looks just like this isolated pupil difference in size, and that's most suggestive of physiological anisocoria. And it can be quite a marked difference. It can look quite abnormal, but you don't tend to find any abnormality. It's quite common. So are the pupils normal or abnormal? Well, I'm calling those physiological anisocoria, so I'm calling them abnormal, but I don't think that's a sign of pathology. So is there anisocoria in light or dark is the next question. Well, both. Does each pupil react to light? Question 3, yes. Is there an RAPD? Question 4, no. What kind of defect is this? Physiological anisocoria. What test could confirm this? Well, I guess the test that I'm thinking of with anisocoria is to exclude a Horner syndrome. So if you're concerned about the possibility of Horner syndrome, if there's a suspicion of a dilation lag, ptosis, and sometimes those can be quite subtle things to look for, then you might do the cocaine paste test, or you might do the apriclondine test. So I've written here in my answers, take care to look for a dilation lag and ptosis of Horner syndrome and test if in doubt. Features of physiological anisocoria are described here. So it's just talking about what I've just said there about how, oh, and a useful tip that I've mentioned there is you can actually get some old photos out and look for long-standing changes. So physiological anisocoria, hope that's helpful.